Hi all. So this is our second video as part of Product Owner Interview Questions and Answers series, which I'm calling it as Master Series. So here is our second question. So what is the difference between Product Backlog and Sprint Backlog, and who owns them? Even though it's a very basic question, but sometimes, other small questions can also result into some ideas about, whether the person understands the concepts, behind the role, the process, the agile methodologies. So here is how we can answer this particular question if we are appearing in a product owner interview. So how we can answer this one. So the difference between PBL, the product backlog, and SBL, the sprint backlog. So the product backlog is basically a prioritized list of all features, enhancement, and fixes needed for the product. A PBL represents what we may build in a product. So sometimes, if someone is acting as a product owner, he may be, capturing all the requirements, all the requests in the product backlog based on the priorities. So we may have some could have features as well. So that's why, we are terming it as, what we may build in a product. PO owns the backlog, its prioritization of its work items, and also ROI, the return on investment. The sprint backlog. So the sprint backlog, on the other hand, is basically a subset of that list chosen by the developers for a specific sprint to achieve the sprint goal. So every time we start a new sprint, we construct a new sprint backlog. So SBL represents what we are building in the current sprint and how team will do it. And SBL is owned by the developers. So this is how we can explain the difference between PBL, the product backlog, and the SBL, which is basically pulled from the product backlog based on the sprint goal, which is finalized by the team, and it represents like what we are building in the sprint, and it is owned by the developers. So that's all about today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you.